Hello everyone, welcome to the new episode of Professionals Unplugged. I am your host Utkarsh Shukla, and today we have Maya with us. Maya is joining us for the third time. So thank you so much, Maya, for joining us back.
Thank you very much for your invitation. And I want to say that it's always a pleasure to speak with you. I remember our last two conversations. I felt very relaxed just sitting on my couch, having a conversation. So thank you for holding this space and making me feel comfortable.
Thank you so much. It's been my pleasure as well. So today we are going to talk about your another book, right? So before starting, can you just give us a brief about that book? Like what's the name of it, why you have written it, and
Yes.
what's the purpose?
Yes, that's a great question. So this is my third book. It's called Finding Dharma. So Dharma is about life purpose.
Right.
And what is very special about this book compared to my other books is that I use my own artwork. So this turtle painting, it's mine.
Nice.
And what is special about, let's say, this part of my journey is that I discovered my passion for art and art therapy shortly after making this painting. So when I was writing this book, it's called Finding Dharma at Your Own Pace. So it's all about talking about how finding our life purpose, it doesn't have an expiry date.
Yeah.
We can know our life purpose when we are 5 years old, but sometimes we may not know it until we are 50 years old.
Right.
So this book is for everyone because it doesn't judge
Mhm.
anyone's journey or anyone's path. Everyone is on their own unique journey.
Right.
And so everyone is like swimming in their own lane, like the turtle. If you look at the ocean has so many different type of animals, like obviously sea animals, right? And the turtle is one of many. And the turtle is just going at her own pace. Doesn't try to compete with anyone else. The turtle doesn't try to be a shark,
Hmm.
and the shark doesn't try to be a turtle. So I love using this description of the turtle to describe the journey to finding your life purpose. And the other thing that's very special about this book is that it is actually written, majority of the book is written when I was in Maldives
Yeah.
on a retreat where I was working as a volunteer for rehabilitation of sea turtles. So the book also talks about the wisdom and the spirit of the
Hmm.
turtle that brings to our life. Also shares my journey in the Maldives, where I was involved in the rehabilitation of sea turtles. And then it goes on to talk about many other things. It's written in a very abstract, artistic way, and it's a lot of storytelling. And for me, I find really it's a fun book.
And that's really great. And the examples that you mentioned, right, like turtle go on its own pace and it doesn't try to replicate what sharks are doing, right? Or any other animal as well. And
Mm.
similarly, I think it's very easy for us to connect in our life. Like sometimes we try to portray someone else's life and try to portray their journey in our case, but at the end, we both are different. Like
Mm.
everyone is a unique on their own. So it's really
Yeah.
great that you covered all those points by giving an example of nature so that everyone can relate and easy
Mm.
for us to understand because turtle and all those things that we see in our day-to-day life, right? It's very important for us to understand from their point of view and to learn from them like how they
Mm.
have approached their life and what
Yes,
differentiate us from them, right?
exactly. Yes.
That's great. So how much time did it took you to write this book?
Yeah, that's a really good question, actually. This book, was an on and off project, because initially it started in 2020 during the corona pandemic. And then I had a big break of writing. And so during that time, what happened actually, I had unexpected loss in my family. And so I had this break from writing, and I didn't know how to end the book, because I then found myself suddenly going through a loss and grief situation. And I stopped writing. I didn't know how to end the book. And so as I was going through this loss and grief journey, I was painting a lot. And this is what actually helped me get through my loss and grief. So I end up finishing the book by sharing my loss and grief journey, and then sharing with the audience, with the readers, what I did to overcome the loss, the grief, the depression I had. And then I managed to finally finish the book and publish it last year in 2025. So it's been a 5-year journey.
That's a really very long journey, I can say. But yeah, with all those learning
Mm,
and everything, it makes a lot of sense why it took you 5 years to complete the book, right?
yes.
As you talk about like you have been to depression and you have mentioned your personal loss in this book, right? So was this the biggest challenge for you while writing this book? Like how to complete it?
I think that was a really big turning point in my life when I realized the value of life. I realized that life should be more lived like the turtle. Slowly, we are not in a speed race. Life is not a competition. Life is not a race. And so when I experienced the sudden loss, I realized really the meaning of life. And so I took a lot of the wisdom from the turtle. And so I then felt that it's not about how fast you go in life. It's not about how fast you get to the destination. It is all about being steady. And like the turtle, she's not the fastest swimmer in the ocean, but everybody knows the turtle is very wise. And slowly but surely, she gets there. So it was a really beautiful journey that when I started to talk about life and purpose and nature and saving nature and the animals and sustainability and living life in a sustainable way, when I suffered from the sudden loss and I went through the grief process, that's what actually really put me into alignment. And so when I got into alignment, I realized the importance of being slow, of being still and present. Like the value of presence really came up a lot for me on that journey.
Yeah, makes sense. So
Mm.
what's next for you now?
Yeah, that's a really great question. So I have a new book coming. It hasn't taken 5 years for this book. It's taken 2 years. And so the audience can expect my fourth book to be published in about 3 to 4 months.
Okay, and the audience can expect the fourth episode after it.
Yes, now actually this morning I was thinking even, okay, now I have done the fourth book. What will be the fifth book? I'm already, writing is like once you get writing and you start publishing book, you don't want to stop because it's such an
Correct,
enjoyable process.
correct.
I find it to be very enjoyable process. So this morning, just when I woke up, I started thinking, okay, maybe time to make a plan about my fifth book.
Mm, nice. And how do you manage like being working in different part of the countries, right? You've been to Saudi, you've been to Mauritius, and you've been to
Mm,
Australia as well, right? So
yes, yes.
how do you manage all those things?
Yeah, so usually my work, I travel like with my work, with my full-time work. So I have a full-time job that supports my writing and my publishing books and my travel. So this is what I like to call the balance between the masculine and the feminine, because I, as a woman, like a single woman, I have to really embody the masculine and the feminine. So I have my full-time job, which is there for my salary, for my stability, for my expenses, and for my life. And actually, that is the foundation that then holds all the feminine work that I can do in the world, like writing books, speaking, go on retreats, traveling, and creating art. So this book also talks about the sustainability in terms of how can we be a sustainable human being?
Yeah,
How can we be the man and the woman? How can we be self-sustainable where we can really learn how to be independent and sufficient in our life in the same way that nature is?
yeah, makes sense. Nice. I guess we have covered most of the things. So is there anything else, Maya, do you want to mention?
Um, no, that's fine. I'm quite happy with that. I just want to really inspire people to share their journeys, whether it involves good things or bad things, because like I mentioned, I was writing my book and I was talking about life purpose and Dharma and turtles and traveling. And then suddenly, when this depression hit me and I was going through the loss and grief, it wasn't something I wanted to continue talking about and continue sharing.
Mm,
But then when I got the courage to share all parts of myself, the good parts, the bad parts, the positive, the negative, it's what it makes who we are. So I learned to really embrace all the emotions, all the parts of me. So it was a very beautiful lesson
mm,
on my journey. So I just want to inspire people to be open about their journeys, to share. The more we share, the more we can have compassion for each other.
right. Yeah. Well, I think that's the best part to end this interview. So thank you so much, Maya, for coming again. And we hope to interview again for your next book. So keep inspiring and keep writing.
Thank you very much and nice to see you again.
Thank you.